because of fear. You see, I was afraid of a lot of things in life. I was afraid of death or sickness. I was afraid that I'd go to bed and just wouldn't wake up the next morning. I was afraid of all the chaos and the world that I saw going on around me. I can remember some people saying, "Hey, Brett, you're just a teenager. You shouldn't have to worry about such things as death or sickness. Just live your life and enjoy it." But for me, that answer just didn't seem good enough. For my fears came from me trying to be in control of my own life or my own story. And when I found out there are things that are impossible to control or to know when they could happen to you, like death or sickness, I became very afraid of these things. I didn't even like this idea of turning control of my life over to somebody else or trusting God with my life because I wasn't sure what God would ask me to do with it. Someone very wise once told me, he said, "Really, Brett, you can't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow. In fact, you really can't even know whether today might be the very last day that you spend here on this earth. But there is someone who does know. You see, Brett, there is a God who's in control of everything, that knows what's going to happen today, tomorrow, the weeks, and the years after that. More importantly, there's actually a God who loves you, and he wants you to trust your life into his hands. And again, I was afraid to trust God with my life because I wasn't sure what he'd ask me to do with it. One night I made that important decision to surrender control and to trust in God, to trust in his gift of his Son, Jesus Christ, by making Jesus Christ the Lord and Savior of my life. Not all my problems and everything I was afraid of, did all that just magically disappear? I'd like to tell you that it did, but that's not quite how God worked in my life. God did work a true miracle in my life, but he worked that miracle through the relationships of other believers, other teachers, other pastors. And they showed me that my story was actually connected to a much bigger story that God was trying to tell. In many ways, through all of this, God was able to take those broken and torn apart pieces and make them whole. Just like taking this newspaper and making it, well, whole. And I tell you all of this so that you understand that it's not by any of my works that I stand before you here today. It's certainly not by anything that I've done, but it's purely by the grace of God. And you see, I am convinced that I'm so much more happy and so much more fulfilled than I could have ever been trying to be in control of my own messed up life.